Residents could see those $1,400 stimulus checks as early as this weekend. The American Rescue Plan consisting of $1.9 trillion. Earlier during his press conference, Governor Lamont discussing how the state plans on spending a portion of that money on Connecticut schools. Out of the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Act, $1.1 billion is set to go towards funding for Connecticut schools as teachers, students, and staff recover from pandemic setbacks.
The 200,000 kids who haven't been in the classroom feel unsure, feel unsafe, most at risk, mainly in our urban communities.
The state says funds will be going toward major goals, including enhanced summer learning, college credit courses, and summer internships.
This is about kids learning in a fun way, which is truly important. It's not about sitting and Zooming all day.
In a survey done by the CDC last June, young adults reported having worse mental health outcomes, increased substance abuse, and elevated thoughts of suicide.
They don't need more Zoom. They don't need more computer instruction. I think what we do agree is they need more socialization with their friends, their peers, and mentors and teachers.
Governor Lamont says funds from the Rescue Act for mental health will go towards school behavioral programs, youth suicide prevention, and support for substance abuse programs. Education leaders say they've heard from thousands of students since the pandemic began. The message loud and clear: they need socialization.
Their everyday routine was significantly disrupted. And so many people young folks talked about feeling sort of isolated and feeling alone and feeling disconnected from each other. So we know the return to school is so critical in terms of helping kids to be connected again.
So as we look at the resources that we have, we must focus on the learning recovery. We must focus on also social emotional learning and safety.
Education leaders say also on the agenda a push to place psychologists and counselors throughout schools in Connecticut. At the state capitol in Hartford, Tania Maldonado, Fox 61 News.